how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going on a bit of an adventure. We're not doing the British Three Peaks, we're not doing the Yorkshire Three Peaks, we're doing the Saddleworth Three Peaks. So we started in Greenfield. We're going to head over this way up to Indian's Head near Dovestones, go round, and if you see the, what a fantastic day by the way, we're going to head up here across to Pots and Pans and then round over to here and then back down to where my car is. What a day it's going to be. These absolute beauties. It's going to be about a 13-mile circular today. I checked with the OS Maps app as well. It's over 3,000 foot of ascent, so it should be pretty good. Turns out it's quite a slog up this first one. The views though. This is where we're heading. So we're going over here. Whew. Whew. The thing with coming out quite early is it's always cold when you leave the house, so you, well, I'd always just end up putting too many layers on. I can't believe how warm it is now, like I'm actually sweating. The great thing about this walk is, because you're literally walking in a huge 13-mile circle, you can see the whole route from most of the route really, so that'll be our final point. That'll be our second point. And our first point is just up here. I mean, I'm not sure if that is a good thing, because I can obviously see how much climbing I've got to do over there and there, and I don't know, maybe some people would prefer not to know, keep it out of the mind, out of sight, out of mind. But it's just beautiful. I'm just coming up to the Alpine Pike Trig Point, which is the first landmark really on the circular. You can just see views for miles. Flattened out quite a bit now, heading over to Indian's Head, which means I can do a little bit of running. It said on the OS that it should take about 5 hours, but I'm hoping for it to be a bit less, to be fair. Made it up to Indian's Head now. Oh. Whoa. One thing I have noticed from being up here is I'm pretty sure this is the highest point of the 3 summits. Which, I mean, I probably should have checked beforehand, but I didn't. So that's good, because that was an absolute slog. So we're about to descend down to the reservoir now. We're going down here, and then we're also going to pass my favourite rock, the Sugarloaf. I don't know if people have favourite rocks, but it's quite a good one. It is quite a steep descent, but there is a very well trodden path, so it's not too bad actually. This is the Sugarloaf. Quite an impressive rock. I have actually climbed it once, quite a few years ago when I got into bouldering. I'm not going to do it today because, as I remember, I nearly got stuck up there. It's quite a drop. But yeah, how cool is that? I think that was the route that I went up. We're heading up this way next. Not sure if you can see from here, but the reason it's called Indian's Head is it's supposed to look like an American Indian lay down with the headdress on. I mean, I can kind of see it. And imagine when it was called that, it was when people had a lot more imagination, so yeah, I can see it. Down at the reservoir now. That's where I've come from, and that's where I'm heading. A nice little flat bit there for a while, but now we're heading back up again. Start of the second peak. This bit gets a little bit foresty, so it's quite nice. Still see the reservoir down there as well. There are a lot of birds too. Yeah, we're definitely going up now. This is called Alderman's Hill behind me. Luckily today we're not going over that. We're sort of skirting around it. Fantastic part of the world. Nearly stacks it. Sorry, little mate. Like I said, it's quite good this route because you can see kind of the whole route for most of it. So we started down here in Greenfield, and then we've sort of headed up here. I think that's where the trig point was. Gone all the way across to the Indian's Head, then we've dropped down across the reservoir, then we've sort of walked round to the footpath here, and then that, if you can just see it, is Pots and Pans where we're heading to next. And then if you can see in the distance the phone mast, that is the last point we're heading to as well. Then we just drop back down to the car. Easy as that. I think I'm just at the last little push now, and then just around the top there should be the Pots and Pans. I've not filmed a lot in that bit just because it's still quite early and a lot of the lambs are asleep, which is quite cute. I don't want to wake them up with me talking rubbish. Yeah, that's where I've just come from. Best thing about coming out pretty early is it's always so quiet. It's just peaceful, listen. That's what you want, isn't it, really? The whole point of getting out. So get some time to yourself. Some peace, regroup. So the footpath's going that way, but this way looks a lot more exciting. Wow, what a great little spot that is. Hidden from all the elements. This is it. Pots and Pans stone. There's also the War Memorial up here as well. I think this has got to be a perfect time to have a little break, get a brew, a bit of food on, and then that's where we're heading next, which is definitely the smallest of the hills. Oh wow. Put my jumper on it. It's a little bit chilly up here, but it's the perfect spot to have the rest of your brew, isn't it? On to the next one. So I think we're heading, sort of, we drop down into Upper Mill, I think now. So there might be a little bit of road walking. So Warmton is in the distance there with the signal pole on it. And we're heading this way. Seems to be going in a complete opposite direction, but I've never been up to that hill before. And there's quite a nice outcrop of rocks ahead, so I'm just going to go with it. It's a nice day, it's nice and peaceful. It's looking like there's a big rain cloud on its way over. But yeah, all good. I'm heading down that way next, so it's looking like I will be going through houses and stuff. And then back up to the other hill, which when I was down at my car it looked quite tall, but from here it doesn't look too bad actually. So on the downhill now, fun bit. There's a lot of lambs about. Try not to disturb them. A lot of them are asleep as well. Heading down towards Upper Mill now. It's quite an impressive church. I'm not sure of this area too much, so I'm having to use my map quite a bit. I think we're heading down this way. Quite a lot of new subscribers recently. My video on the mass trespass swim went down pretty well. It's probably one of my most popular videos already, and it's not been on too long. But yeah, I just want to say thanks to all the new people who've subscribed and all the old ones who've stuck with it. I don't know if you can see, but that's the church you've just passed. And if you look at the top of there, you can actually see the War Memorial. And that's where we're heading. I've just found this bench though, so I'm going to have a little 5 minutes. Enjoy this view. Don't know if you can see just here, but there's 2 bunnies asleep. Just had to do a little road section, but it seems to be back off it now. Under this huge viaduct. It's pretty cool. I followed what looked like a footpath, but it's pretty spiky. If you are doing this walk, probably just walk around that bit. Whoa. I've been smelling a lot of wild garlic. There's lots of berries and currants beginning to grow now this time of year. So walking down the Delft Donkey line now. Quite a strange name, I know. I'm not certain the history of it, I'm not going to lie, but I do know it used to be a railway line quite a long time ago. And you know what? It's flat, it's straight. My legs are getting tired, so I'm happy with this. So we're on the ascent again. That bit has got a bit confusing, to be honest. There's loads of little different roads, footpaths, all sort of mingled in together. So I think it would be worth having your map out for that one. Got about 3 miles left on the walk. I would like to say I'm quite impressed with it, to be honest. The sights have been amazing. It's a good distance. Got the legs pumping at parts, and just, yeah, the wildlife has been fantastic. Obviously coming out earlier is a lot quieter, so there's more stuff about, isn't there? But it's just, yeah, I'll strongly advise it. It's not easy, but it's a good little walk. Very new. Sun's out again now. I've decided to take a slight shortcut, but it's up a very steep, very well signposted footpath. So, whoa, I've come from down the bottom there. Getting quite near to the top now. Considering we're so high up, it's very flat. Apparently I'm only 1.5 miles from my car, so I'm guessing there's quite a steep drop on the other side of this, because I'm quite high up now. I don't know if you can make out in the distance there, but that's Manchester city centre. Quite a drastic contrast to where I am now. I've had to sort of walk round the path just because there's so many sheep and lambs about. Obviously don't want to disturb them, so I'm just taking a little loop. But there's the phone mast. That is a big trig point. Oh. So yeah, we're not too far from the car now. It's down at the bottom there somewhere. So this is where we came first thing this morning. I think that's your Indian's Head. You got Dovestones. I don't know if you can make out, but there's actually the sailing boats out now as well, which is pretty cool. Then if you look over that way, sort of around there, you can see the war memorial with the pots and pans as well. Wow. Like I said before, it's been a fantastic walk, to be honest. Like, the views are, well, fantastic. The one thing I would say is the last bit I've done's not as fun. Like, the most exciting bit is the first and the second bits. So I'd potentially start with doing this one first, or maybe even doing what I've done but in reverse, just because then you get all the fantastic scenery at the end. You could probably even go for a little swim in the reservoir if you pick a hot day like I have today. But wow, oh, that's steep. one steep bit of grass. I think that's the footpath right down there as well. Oh wow, that's interesting. Guess we're going down that way then. This is where we stack it. Look at this. Whoa. I'd strongly advise not going this way, it's so steep. I would slide down on my bum, but there's just so many rocks as well. Getting closer to the footpath. It's flattening out slightly now. Well, only just slightly, but it's a lot easier. Ooh, he says. Whoa. Back on flat ground now, which is great. That's where I've just come up from. You can see the top of the mast there. I'm just heading down here. I think it's less than a mile to the car now. So I'm pretty much back at the car now, and as you can hear, it's just a road now. So I'm going to leave it there for today. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, just thanks for keep watching the videos. I've got a lot of stuff coming up. Bushcraft shows at the end of the month, so I'm going to film that. I've ordered a Ranger canoe as well, so I'm going to be getting that out on that quite a lot this summer. Maybe do some like canoe and camping sort of videos. But yeah, watch this space. See you soon.